Live on YouTube, live on Rumble. Good afternoon, hello, welcome to This Date in History, aka TDH. I, of course, am A.O. Xander. We will be joined by the Golden Loon here shortly. He was just here a moment ago. And you here, of course, are you. Thank you so much for coming in and watching. Today is, of course, Thursday, aka Friday, June 19th, 2026. This show is, of course, about interesting and important events that happened today throughout the annals of recorded history. We have a 36-page document to get through today, so quite a lot of history, but not too much. I'm going to save the title and thumbnail of the show with the Loom when he gets here, but first we're going to start off in the year 325. The original Nicene Creed was adopted as the First Council of Nicaea. Okay. 1179, the Norwegian Battle of Kalviskeinet outside Nidaros. Earl Erling Sikagagi was killed, and the battle changed the tide of the Civil War. Other source says Civil War is plural, so I wonder how many Civil Wars were going on. 1205, Pope Innocent III fired Adolf I as Archbishop of Cologne. I wonder why. I'm just going to do a surface level scratch of the article really quick, just to see why he fired. Okay, this just tells me of that guy. So I'm not sure if it requires any digging or whatnot. If there's any reason that's even listed. 1269. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
How you doing?
I'm doing well.
Awesome. Yeah, I have here the thumbnail for today's episode here for you.
Hey, look who's in the corner.
Yeah, and the title is Police, Father's Day, Heaviest Orange, and More.
Oh.
Yeah, and there's what appears to be the heaviest orange.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That can't be. Come on.
Oh, it is. 1269, King Louis IX of France decreed all Jews must wear a yellow badge in public or be fined 10 livres of silver. That sounds familiar.
No kidding. This is in France?
Yeah. 1269 in France.
Sheesh.
Yeah, right here.
I've never heard of anything like that.
Oh, well, this happened multiple times before. So, 1286, Rabbi Mir of Rothenburg was imprisoned in the fortress of Ensenheim, Alsace, by King Rudolph I. He died there 7 years later. That's a tragedy right there.
Yeah.
In 1464, French King Louis XI formed a postal service.
Oh.
And, we're not there yet, but I actually, I meant to have a, there's that orange right there. I meant to have a note there saying image search this, because, look, that's the post coming in, now only nobility, were doing the post because they're the only ones who knew how to read and write, and who can afford such extravagant things. Can you imagine a postal service being like just an absolute elitist only thing? It's just so prohibitively expensive.
What's harder to imagine is the only the elites knew how to read and write.
Not really that difficult, if they're in control of...
well, I got it.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised. I just said that's what makes me uncomfortable.
Well, unfortunately, you're going to get a lot more uncomfortable because AI and all this automated stuff, and even before all that, when we were just talking to our Alexas or Echoes or all that whatnot, we can have things dictated to us. We can dictate, write this down, Alexa, yada yada. And so with technology, we literally can live our entire lives without reading or writing anything ourselves. We can just have things spoken to us and speak things to our own little digital assistant. That's terrifying. Yeah. There is a serious problem actually right now with the literacy abilities or lack thereof of children in every grade. Like there's kids entering college that can't read. Like they, not just reading at third grade level, they can't read.
How do they get into college?
Well, they're the right color. Or they check boxes. That's all it's about anymore these days. So, 1586, English colonists sailed from Roanoke Island in North Carolina. So, other source, English colonists left Roanoke Island after failing to establish England's first permanent settlement in North America. Now, we all know about the whole Roanoke Island thing. Like people were there was a colony there at one point, and they just up and disappeared. Like all that was left was apparently a wooden sign that said Roanoke or something. And Roanoke, I believe, was one of the names of the tribes that was in the area. So some people believe that it was a failed colony, and the survivors just went to go live with the natives, because there was a several year period between ships. to bring people in, out, supplies, all that stuff, yada yada. Because it was just one of those earlier colonies and everything, but all the people just gone. It's one of the larger mysteries of history. Whatever happened to Roanoke?
Yeah.
So, what else do we got here? 1588, Spanish Armada heavily damaged in storms in the Bay of Biscay along the Galician coast of Spain. Some ships returned to A Coruña for repairs. A Coruña. 1603, Murga Bien arrested for witchcraft in Fulda, Nobien. Germany, part of Fulda witch trials. She and about 250 people were later burnt at the stake.
Oh,
yikes.
geez.
Well, witchcraft, So.
Yeah.
Like one of the stupidest things of witchcraft I ever heard was like the whole drowning thing. Like I think it was ducking. Like they tied you to like a seesaw, and they ducked you under the water.
Yeah, almost like waterboarding.
Yeah. Now, if you survived, you're a witch. If you died, then you're innocent of being accused of a witch.
Oh, great.
Yeah, I know, right?
Are you sure about that?
Yeah,
That's the way it worked?
That apparently, yeah. 1718, at least 73,000 people died in the 1718 Tongwei Gansu earthquake due to landslides in the Qing dynasty. Yikes, that's a lot of people. 73,000 in 1718? That's obscene. That's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot today. It's a lot more, back then.
Yeah.
Because, we didn't even have 1 billion people worldwide until,
I have no idea.
1950 or something. It's fairly recent,
I have no idea.
Yeah. 1741, Russian mathematician Leonard Euler left St. Petersburg for a position at the Berlin Academy, offered to him by Frederick the Great of Prussia. It's pretty cool. You're so renowned in your field that heads of state are offering you a job. 1754, Albany Congress held by 7 British colonies and Iroquois Indians. Okay. So, before we had a revolution.
Yeah.
1770, Swedish theologian and philosopher Emanuel Swedenborg reported the completion of the second coming of Christ in his work True Christian Religion. I don't know about that. 1778, George Washington's Continental Army troops finally left Valley Forge, their winter encampment. Yeah, Valley Forge, that was brutal. They're out there in the winter.
Yeah.
Out in Valley Forge, just in the elements, all that stuff. And,
yeah, that had to be absolutely brutal.
That was just, That almost ended the war there. 1785, the Boston King's Chapel adopted James Freeman's revised prayer book without the Nicene Creed, establishing it as the first Unitarian congregation in the United States. 5 years later, French Revolution, the National Assembly issued a decree abolishing the titles, orders, and other privileges of the French nobility, so getting rid of the bourgeois there. In 1807, Russian Admiral Dmitry Senyavin destroyed the Ottoman fleet in the Battle of Athos during the Russo-Turkish War. So I guess, Turkish were the Ottomans and all that stuff. Destroyed the fleet. That's a blow right there.
Did the Turkish defeat the Ottomans?
No, Turkey is Ottoman.
You're right.
Yeah,
You're
Ottoman Empire was dissolved, and what left was Turkey, and that was their central point. Turkey was the center of Ottoman Empire. 1816, Battle of Seven Oaks between Northwest Company and Hudson's Bay Company near Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. Now, did you hear something interesting there?
What's that?
Northwest Company and Hudson's Bay Company.
Yeah.
They're both companies representing their home governments. So now we have
they have
paramilitary groups, essentially.
No, they're companies that have interest in the areas.
Well, no, but you remember VOC, the Dutch East India Company and all that stuff.
Yeah.
This is basically the same thing. These are how governments, and even to this day, governments do this. They enforce what they want to enforce that goes against whatever government document, their constitution, their whatever it is. Their legal document, pertaining to their nation. They can't do some things sometimes, so they use companies as a private entity to circumvent that law.
Now, is this, when they said Battle of Seven Oaks, is that an actual battle between these two companies?
Well, I
I'm
presume, like, this is
lost.
like, fighting and like, guns and everything. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like much like Vok, like, this sounds like Northwest Company and Hudson's Bay Company. They sound like companies that were created by a government in order to impose their will beyond the constraints of their laws, because they are now a company, a private entity, acting on the behalf of their government overlord, circumventing the laws. So now we have two companies doing that, fighting each other. So we have essentially a proxy war with two paramilitary groups. It's wild.
See, I take it a little bit different take. I take it as two companies in that region.
Yeah.
With opposite interests, vital interests apparently, and they would finance a war against each other. That's the way I would look at it, but I'm not sure.
The Hudson's Bay Company was a Canadian holding company of department stores and commercial property. It was the oldest corporation in North America, founded in 1670, and liquidated in 2025. Let's see here. The founding royal charter issued by King Charles II granted the company the right of sole trade and commerce over the Rupert's Land territory, the borders of which were based on the Hudson Bay drainage basin. It controlled the fur trade throughout English and later British North America. It was its de facto government until it relinquished control of the land to Canada in 1869. That's why I'm saying this acted as a government outside of governmental, like this was the Hudson's Bay Company. That's just one of the two.
Yes.
The other one, that's what I'm saying. Like, much like how Vok was created and operated, there's many other companies, these other being there. So they actually fought like governments in war because they were. Like,
they were the government.
They were the government circumventing the law because they were a private enterprise.
They weren't circumventing the law because the English government granted them that until 1895.
Then why did the British Army not come in and fight?
Well, because they had granted it to them. It was legal.
Because they had a paramilitary group.
Yeah.
Like the concept of the company store. It's kind of like that.
Yeah. Well, the British government can't come in because they have an agreement.
Exactly. See, the company can because it circumvents the law.
I got you, yeah.
So, 1819, HMS Kite chased the steamship SS Savannah on its historic voyage across the Atlantic for 3 hours off the coast of Ireland, believing it to be on fire. Unable to catch the steamship, HMS Kite fired warning shots, forcing it to stop and be inspected, to the amazement of the British. So apparently, like, they couldn't believe how fast it was going, I think. 1821, the decisive defeat of the Greek Revolutionary Society Filiki Itariada by the Ottomans at Dragazimiskisi in Wallachia. And I think Wallachia, wasn't that where Vlad the Impaler reigned?
Who?
Vlad the Impaler. The inspiration for Dracula.
Oh.
Wasn't that his country, Wallachia?
I don't know.
I think it was.
I have no clue.
1829, Robert Peel introduced the Metropolitan Police Act 1829 into Parliament to establish a unified police force for London, the city's first modern police force, and I think the first police force ever. Like, the first ever modern police force. Like, I'm not sure how policing was done before this. And, like, even thinking far back to the Old West times, that was after this. So, like,
well,
I can't think of any...
I don't know. There has been, all the way back to Christ, collectors of money. Would that be some kind of police force?
Well, no, those are tax collectors. They are law enforcers.
Well, they're enforcing the law of taxes.
That's one thing.
I'm just wondering if that's step one, and what else do they enforce?
I mean, like, you look at a thing like Aladdin. Like, there were guards and everything, and there was punishment. Like, you stole a bread, they cut off your hand and everything.
Yeah.
But was there, like, an organized, like, like people report crimes and they go out and investigate? They do, things like how we know police to do. Like, this says modern police force, which I don't know what it actually entails.
Okay, good.
Modern police
modern's
force.
a key word there.
Yeah. So, anyway, what else do we got here? Get rid of this Wikipedia article. Robert, we got that one. 1835, New Orleans gave U.S. government Jackson Square to be used as a mint. 1846, first officially recognized baseball game played by Cartwright rules. New York Nines 23 defeated Knickerbockers 21 at Hoboken, New Jersey. So,
I have no idea what Cartwright.
1846. I'm way ahead here. The Knickerbockers right here. Just that way people know I didn't say the bad word. Yeah, other source, the first officially recorded organized baseball game was played under Alexander Carthar's rules on Hoboken, New Jersey's Elysian Fields, with the New York Baseball Club defeating the Knicks 23-1. Cartwright himself umpired. So that's pretty cool. And that's that's an artist's rendition. I'm not sure of that game. It just says the American National Game of Baseball. And it's 2 words.
Yeah.
I wonder when they conjoin the 2 words, because now it's just baseball. One word.
Yeah. Now, the irony is, New York has the Knickerbockers, but it's a basketball team.
Oh.
Who just
Yeah,
won the
the
national
Knicks.
champion. Yeah, the
Yeah.
Knicks.
So they just switched sports. That's interesting. I guess they're sports fluid.
Well, at least they adopted the name because it was probably known by the community.
Oh, absolutely. 1861, the Anaheim Post Office was established. Hey. 1862, slavery outlawed in U.S. territories. President Abraham Lincoln signed the Territorial Slavery Act of 1862, which prohibited slavery in all current and future United States territories. Now, I want you to pay attention to that date, 1862.
Okay.
The Civil War had already started. Now, a lot of people think, and they still press, they'll fight to the death for this belief, even though it's false. The Civil War was not initially about slavery. Lincoln made it about slavery. He basically like broadcasted the whole moral thing that we have against slavery, these days.
So
and all
what
that
was
stuff.
it originally about?
States' rights and everything. Like there's a lot of
Which
things.
would include slavery.
Well, because at the time, because we can always look back. Hindsight is 20/20.
Yeah.
If we really need to understand, we need to put our shoes in the people at the time.
Yes, of
And
course.
Unfortunately, people of a certain ethnicity of African descent were viewed as farm equipment. That's a really disgusting thing to say, but that's how things were. So there's a lot of things that the Union, the federal government were promising to the southern states that they were failing to uphold. So, I may be incredibly ignorant with this, but to my knowledge and understanding, the South's secession and reason for starting the war is 100% justified in their favor. I'm not, slavery is a terrible thing.
What we got to go a little deeper.
Because
What was the argument in states' rights?
Because we were not fulfilling the promises legally we were giving them. I don't remember the exact specific laws, but there were things that the government was doing that favored the North over the South, and eventually they got tired of getting kicked around. There's things about slavery, yes, that the federal government was not honoring, and yes, I'm happy they didn't honor it, but at the same time they were not keeping their promises. So wrong is wrong and right is right. Slavery is wrong, but not keeping your promises is also wrong. So it's a very complex situation.
So when did the war actually start?
1861.
61. Okay.
Yes.
So this is
And then
year
Lincoln used this and used slavery and the current feelings which eventually blossomed into civil rights and everything, and the feelings that we have today about slavery, about equality and all that stuff. He used that as a backbone to keep the war going because we were getting our asses kicked. So he used it as a way to support the people's support of the war. It was a remember the Alamo thing, a call to arms for justification. But it did not break out initially about slavery. It became about slavery, but it started because we were not fulfilling our promises, despite how bad they were. If you can't honor your word, you're worthless. Anyway, 1864, CSS Alabama sunk by USS Kearsarge off Cherbourg in France. Huh. That's also during the Civil War. CSS Alabama, Confederate States, and USS United States. Mm-hmm. So we have two a Confederate and a Union naval vessel fighting in France across the Atlantic. What the hell? That is weird.
I guess you fight wherever you see the enemy. I don't know.
Yeah. 1865, Union General Gordon Granger declared slaves are free in Tejas. Now the end of slavery is celebrated across the U.S. as Juneteenth. And they're doing this because it's 2 years after, or 3 years after that whole, where is it? Right here. Slavery outlawed in U.S. territories. And in Texas, they were part of the South. So, and by now the Civil War had ended. We had in 1865. We had covered that several times. So now finally they're declaring it 2 years after, and they were also on the wrong side. They were part of the Confederacy. So this whole Juneteenth thing really only enforces a Confederate view of the ideology when you think about it, because Juneteenth is it's celebrating this. Because right here it even says, now the date of the end of slavery is celebrated across the U.S. as Juneteenth, even though we declared it 3 years before, outlawed in 1862. So why are we doing it when the Confederacy declares it? That's a little weird. But yeah, other source, over 2 years and after the Emancipation, or over 2 years after the Emancipation Proclamation, slaves in Galveston, Texas, United States, were formally, officially informed of their freedom. The anniversary was officially celebrated in Texas and other states as Juneteenth. On June 17th, 2021, Juneteenth officially became a federal holiday in the United States. And I have a note here, why not celebrate the actual document? Why celebrate the event that, years later, finally told the already freed blacks they were free? This seems self-defeating and victimization, 1867, first Belmont Stakes, Gilbert Gilpjack aboard Ruthless, won in 3 minutes and 5 seconds. 1867, Maximilian I of the Second Mexican Empire was executed by a firing squad in Querétaro. 1868, Major General E.R.S. Canby removed mayor of Columbia, South Carolina. That's a little incredible. Like, why are we having military people removing government officials? It's a little alarming there. 1875, formal opening of U.S. Marine Hospital at Presidio in San Francisco.
Oh, the Presidio, yeah.
The Presidio, oh yeah. 1875 as well, the Herzegovinian rebellion against the Ottoman Empire began. 1897, MLB Baltimore Orioles outfielder Wee Willie Keeler's then record 44-game hitting streak ended. Oh, what a shame. 1900, Republican Party nominated President William McKinley for re-election, but chose a new candidate for Vice President Theodore Roosevelt. Yep. 3 years later, New York Central Railroad began building Grand Central Terminal, designed by the architectural firms of Reed and Stem for overall, and Wern and Westmore for the exterior. And we have here, I don't think that made it to the actual thumbnail, but that looks like they're digging out. They have railroad tracks here, and they have some more up here. That's a huge excavation. Look at all that.
Yeah.
So that looks more like the basement down there. But I'm going to image search this really quick. So, I don't think I need that. Nope. Yeah, we all know Grand Central Terminal. We've been in there.
Yeah.
Did we arrive at there?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So, look at these old photographs. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then now there's that MetLife building. Do you believe that there's airspace? Like they rent out airspace above.
Airspace? What does that mean?
Like the space above the building for air. Like they rent it out to hang banners for advertisements and stuff like that. Or something.
Okay.
903, Benito Mussolini, at the time a radical socialist, was arrested by Bern police for advocating a violent general strike. He should have been put down. 909, first baseball game played under lights, an exhibition between local Elks Lodge teams in Cincinnati, Ohio. 1909.
Yeah, we have heard a bunch of first night games,
Well,
and I guess they're different stadiums.
Well, those were specifically first night games at specific stadiums.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
This one says first night game ever, and in 1909, I can believe that.
Yeah.
This says 1935.
Yeah,
Hold on a second.
same
This
thing.
says first ever MLB game. Okay, so that's MLB, but not ever baseball. There's a difference between MLB because that's a league.
Yeah.
This is first ever baseball. Period.
Yeah.
Under lights, before leagues, I think even.
Well,
Or-
they had leagues.
1909.
Yeah.
Probably in college and everything. They didn't have any major leagues. Probably minor leagues.
Well, I don't know.
If anything.
I would imagine they're professional, but I don't know.
I don't know. 1909.
Yeah.
I
I
don't
think
know.
so.
Maybe. I
I
don't
think
know.
baseball goes back into the 1800s.
Yeah. Well, we covered like
Yeah.
that one earlier. It was 1858 or something. 1910, Father's Day is celebrated for the first time in Spokane, Washington.
Ah, how about that?
Spokane. And hey, Father's Day this year is the Sun's Day.
Ah, that's
So
right.
Even
It
though
is.
it's yours day, it's mine's day too. Sun's Day. I'm the son. Oh.
You can't cut in that.
Well, I'm not the daughter. That's for sure. So, 1910, we got that one. 1910 as well. First airship in service, the Germany. And I looked this up earlier to try to find a thumbnail image, and I was kind of confused. For whatever reason, that's the Hindenburg. You know, they're giving me the Hindenburg, but this looks more appropriate to 1910.
Yeah.
But that also looks a lot older, though. I'm not sure. And this says dirigible. This is not an airship. There's a difference, I think. I'm not sure. What's the difference between a dirigible and an airship?
I have no idea.
No. A balloon is just a balloon. You know?
Yeah.
A dirigible or airship, they're both...
they're all a blimp. I mean, not the air balloon, but...
Yeah. Well, like, no, these are also powered. Like, the just the helium balloon, the round one, you're just drifting.
Yeah.
These ones have, like, propellers and everything.
Yeah.
Now, for whatever reason, we have a beer stein. Oh, it shows a balloon right here, too. Okay. That's weird. I look for the German balloon. It gives me a beer stein that shows the image of a German balloon. 1912, Tennessee University was established as the Tennessee Agricultural and Industrial State Normal School for blacks. It was a less friendly term that they were called back there. In Nashville, Tennessee. 1913, Natives Land Act, Act number 27, passed in South Africa, confined Africans to hopelessly overcrowded reserves and deprived them of rights to purchase land outside the native reserves. Wow. That's terrible. That is just abhorrent. Yikes. 1914, Hillcrest Mine disaster. Explosion at Hillcrest Mine, Alberta, killed 189 men in Canada's worst mining disaster. 3 years later, 1917, the British royal family, which has had strong German ties since George I, renounced its German names and titles and adopted the name Windsor. A lot of people don't realize that the Windsor family, the royals, are of German descent. That's kind of weird when you think about it, because all the way, Queen Elizabeth, Prince Philip.
Well, and then you got Windsor Castle. It had to be way before 1917, I would think. And maybe they just renamed it Windsor.
They probably renamed it Windsor.
Yeah.
But see, what's really wild is knowing that these people were being attacked by Germany in World War II. Like, they were being bombed by essentially their own blood. I mean, like, we're all humans. We're all in our own blood.
There's been a lot of wars where brothers have fought brothers.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, all of the British, nobility, they are all family to some degree throughout all of antiquity. 1919, opposed to dismemberment of Turkey by the Allies, Mustafa Kemal declared his Turkish Nationalist Congress, headquartered in Ankara, independent of Constantinople. 21, census was held in Great Britain, and we have another one here in Britain. I wonder if they're connected. The village of Knockcrogery, Ireland, was burned by British forces. So did they not want to take him in as part of the census or something? Like, they both happened on the same exact day.
I know, but that's Ireland, so that's a stretch.
Yeah. Well, no, Ireland was part of Britain.
Of course. But it's still over in Ireland.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is part of census. Because Great Britain, well, I guess maybe just Great Britain.
But, actually, Ireland is part of Great Britain.
Well, no. It's not. Because you have the United Kingdom of
Great
Britain, Ireland, and Scotland.
Yeah.
But Great Britain is its own thing.
Yeah, I had it backwards.
Yeah. 21, Turks and Christians of Palestine signed a friendship treaty against Jews. Huh. Kind of makes it sound like Israel is a type of revenge for this something. 23, comic strip Moon Mullins debuted. All right. That's right there.
Yeah.
Do you remember Moon Mullins?
No. No, I don't.
I don't. Well, 23. Neither of us, of course. We just have other examples of this. Just comic strip. Looks cool. 24. Pablo Nurmi ran world record 1,500 meters of 3 minutes 52.6 seconds. 50 minutes later sets a 5,000 meter world record at 14 minutes 28.2 seconds. Also running a world record 3-mile time of 14 minutes 2 seconds flat within that event in Finnish Olympic trials in Helsinki. In the trials.
Jeez.
Wow. 1 century ago, 1926, DeFore Bailey became the first black stadium to perform on Nashville's Grand Ole Opry. Alright, 26 as well. King Roger, an opera about Roger II of Sicily by Karol Szymanowski, was premiered at the Grand Theater in Warsaw. Okay, I don't know why that's mark. Oh, because it's 26. That's why it's Oka.
Yeah.
31. A first photoelectric cell installed commercially in West Haven, Connecticut. What is that? Almost sounds like a solar panel. Photoelectric cell. Huh. Hold on a second. What's a photoelectric cell? I'm gonna look this up here. It's a first automatic door. Huh. Oh, okay, so like it's a laser scanner in 31. Hold on a second. Photo.
Doesn't sound right.
I'm just gonna look up photoelectric cell. You know, just to see what this solar cell. Oh, it's a photovoltaic cell. This is a photoelectric. Maybe it is solar. Invention year 1839. Okay,
Oh,
well
this
then
is
1931. No,
That's
1839.
Oh, 1839.
And I
Ooh.
just read something from 1931.
Yeah.
So obviously it's solar. You know, like why are we like? See, this always bugs me. Why are we so surprised that there is like this technology started in 1839? It happened.
Yeah.
You know, why are we not like more advanced than where we are now? Like why are we always surprised looking back?
Yeah.
Like, it's weird. There's like, am I making any sense?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
32 hailstones killed 200 in Hunan province, China. I wonder if they're 17 inches wide.
I don't think so.
33 Austrian Chancellor Engelbert Dollfuss's government banned Nazi organizations. That's good.
Yeah.
34 Federal Communications Commission, the FCC was created. The Communications Act of 1934 established the FCC. Excellent. Well, not excellent. Now they're censorship. 36 Dutch Prime Minister Hendrikus Koolhaas denied relation with German call girl. That sounds like Bill Clinton to me from another
Caught
era.
in the cookie jar.
Yeah, yikes. 36 as well. German boxer Max Schmeling knocks out up-and-coming stadium heavyweight Joe Louis in 12 rounds at Yankee Stadium, New York.
Ooh, he had to be a youngster then.
I guess so. Well, this was 36. When was Joe Louis born? 1914. So, he was...
36, he was 22.
Okay, yeah, he was young. So... 36 as well. Joe McCarthy was named to manage American League All-Stars rather than high-strung Mickey Cochrane, who was very close to a nervous breakdown. What? That's kind of a little personal thing to add in there. What the hell? 37. Francisco Franco's nationalist troops took Bilbao during their victorious Biscay campaign in the Bosse region during the Civil War. Spanish Civil War, of course. 1938, Reg Johnny Vandermeer extended his string of hitless baseball innings to 21 2/3 before Debs Garb's singles for Boston in fourth. 1940, Hermann Goring ordered seizure of Dutch horses, cars, buses, and ships. And, like seizing the means of transportation so that way people can't flee. Mom's time, 1941, Romania ordered Jewish evacuation of Darabani. So it sounds like they're trying to get him out of there ahead of the Nazis coming in. 41, Soviet anthropologist Mikhail Gerasimov opened the tomb of Timurid Empire founder Timur and allegedly found the inscription that whoever opens the tomb shall, quote, unleash an invader more terrible than I, end quote. 3 days later, Germany invades Russia. I remember hearing about this. Here's an actual photographic image, I believe, of them opening that tomb. But no, that's a pretty wild thing to occur. Like he opens up, this tomb.
Yeah.
And it's not just any tomb; it's the tomb of, Timur, the creation of the Timur Empire, like the dynasty. Like I'm gonna image search this really quick just to show. This was a Timurid Empire.
Oh, jeez.
So like,
whoa.
Yeah. So it wasn't like a small thing; it was a whole thing. And this was the tomb of the guy who founded all of that.
My goodness.
Yeah.
That looks bigger than Russia.
No, Russia is like that's the Caspian Sea. That's the Black. Russia is enormous.
I know.
So it looks big because it occupies most of the map, but it's not that big.
Yeah.
So I mean it's big, but it's not Russia big. But still, to find that inscription, and 3 days later for Barbarossa to happen, pretty wild. 41, U.S. President Franklin Roosevelt signed the Two-Ocean Navy Expansion Act, increasing the size of the U.S. Navy by 70%.
Whoa.
Wow. 42, Paul Wainer was the 7th to get 3,000 baseball hits. I wonder who the first one was, but that's Pretty cool. 7th one.
Yeah.
43, NFL's Philadelphia Eagles and Pittsburgh Steelers merged, dissolving on December 5th. Now, from the other source, and to tell us the reason why, it's kind of chilling. The Philadelphia Eagles and Pittsburgh Steelers of the National Football League merged for one season due to player shortages caused by World War II. Now, of course, there's a lot of people going out and fighting and everything, but a lot of people aren't coming back.
Yeah.
And it's kind of chilling to, wonder how many of those football players did not come back.
Yeah.
You
don't know they're out fighting, so yeah.
That's chilling.
Yeah.
44, 5 of the magnificent 11 photos taken by Robert Capa during the D-Day landings at Omaha Beach, Normandy, first published in Life magazine.
Oh, man.
Already over there.
Life magazine, a weekly magazine, and it was huge. It was on everybody's coffee table.
Oh, yeah.
And Look was right behind it. 2 magazines. Neither of them exist today.
Who?
Life or Look?
Oh, Life.
Life magazine.
Yeah. What are the other 2?
Look.
Oh, okay.
Look magazine.
Okay, so that's the other one.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about 3 magazines now.
No.
Okay. No. Yeah. But see, it's kind of interesting, knowing that Life magazine had Adolf Hitler on their cover back in the 30s, and then now in the same magazine they're publishing, images like this.
Yeah.
And,
I
nobody batted an eye. Well, maybe they did, but you'd think that you'd hear about a massive backlash against, against Life for having
Putting those on there? Oh
no, for having Hitler,
okay.
And then later publishing is how dare you have the audacity to praise Hitler and then years later publish people dying because of that man you praised, Life needs to shut down.
That was so huge, that landing. I just can't comprehend what people went through. And anything you're going through, the Vietnam War, there were so many incidents like that on smaller scales.
Yeah.
But if you're involved in something and your life's on the line, it's going to be the same way. You just can't comprehend it.
Yeah.
You just can't comprehend. On that scale, God, amazing.
Yeah.
How many did it say we died on?
Tens of thousands.
On day one on the landing?
Well, let's see here. U.S. Allied death toll day 1. Normandy landings. Let's see here. Normandy landings. Blah blah blah. Let's see here. Landing. See commanders, leaders.
We don't need
strength. Casualties and losses. We have over 10,000 casualties. 4,414 confirmed killed. With 185 M4 Sherman tanks lost.
So that's 14,000 right there, killed or wounded.
Well, no, we have casualties, 10,000 plus casualties, with 4,414 confirmed killed. So casualties are wounded and killed. So
okay.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the Germans and they had Polish POWs fighting in their uniforms and all this stuff. So it wasn't just Germans out there. Between 4,000 to 9,000 were killed, wounded, missing, or captured. So that's their total for everything.
How many?
Between 4,000 to 9,000. So,
gee, that's a big number for that side of it.
Yeah. This is. I wonder if this is just day 1 though. I'm not sure. Anyway,
put in as for day 1.
Well, we got to keep on going here.
Yes, please.
1944, French troops freed Elba, which is the island that Napoleon was exiled on. The first one, I think the second one was St. Helena. That's where he ended up dying. I think he was killed. 44, heavy air raid on U.S. fleet at Guam. A turkey shoot. I think that they were getting knocked out of the sky. It sounds like. 45, El Teniente mine accident. The smoke tragedy. 355 men died from smoke inhalation from a fire in the Andes in Chile. Jeez. Lose time, 1946. First TV sports and boxing spectacular. Joe Louis knocks out Billy Conn in a match broadcast across New York. We have not that one, this one.
Oh.
An image, the first television broadcast. Pretty cool. So, 1947, first plane, an F-80 to exceed 600 miles per hour, or 1,004 kilometers per hour. Albert Boyd, Murat, California, I believe. That's the pilot and everything. So that's,
welcome to the jet era.
Yeah, that's the aircraft right there.
Yeah, it's the only way you're going to get that kind of speed.
Yep. 48, Panama and Costa Rica recognized Israel. 52, I've Got a Secret debuted on CBS TV with Gary Moore as host.
Yes, of course.
I knew you'd remember that.
Oh, of course, that was huge. Sunday
Nice.
nights, I think it was.
Ah.
Could have been saying, I don't know what night.
Well, everybody wants to know the secret. Oh.
Yeah, well, no, do you know the basis of it?
No.
You come in, there was a panel,
Okay.
and then you're invited in, and Gary Moore would give you hints, and the panel got to ask a question, and you get a yes or no answer, and they tried to figure out what he did for a living.
All right. 53, we can get some closure with this one. During the Cold War, Julius and Ethel Rosenberg were executed at Sing Sing in New York.
Didn't we just talk about that?
Well, we spoke about them being
Oh,
allowed
delayed
to... Yeah, because of their anniversary. Fuck
Oh,
them.
God, yeah.
They should have been killed on their anniversary. It's like, haha. That's what you get for being traitors to humanity. 54, Taz, the Tasmanian Devil of Warner Brothers, cartoon character created by Robert Mickinson and Warren Foster of Looney Tunes and Merry Melodies series, first debuted in Devil May Hair. We have an image of that. The guy goes, you know,
Yep, that was
spins
Kimberly's deal.
yeah. And that's why I specifically wanted to get an image of this for the thumbnail. Now,
Glad you did.
what's interesting is that's what he looked like in 54.
Whoa.
Yeah, and then now he's all 3D and animated and everything. So, but there's another image here that showed his evolution through time. So that's what he originally was, and then for whatever reason they had him like be a pet and everything during one of the series, and now he's like that. What the hell? Like the lack of care to, like, look how much better he looked. Now he just looks like some crude child's drawing.
Well, they're toning it down.
It looks bad.
Don't scare the kids.
It looks bad. It looks terrible. So, 1955, Mickey Mantle hit career in home run number 100. All right. We also have Philadelphia Phillies went to the beat the Chicago Cubs 1-0 in 15 innings. That's 2 7-inning stretches, tying longest shutout in club history. 56, Jerry Lewis and Dean Martin ended their partnership after 10 years and 16 films.
Yeah, that was a huge breakup. Those two.
Man.
Dean Martin, Jerry Lewis were.
Did they have a fight or something, or like were they just kind of done?
Yeah, something was said, and it just never healed.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then they just went their separate ways.
Well, nothing lasts forever. 59, U.S. Senate rejected Eisenhower's appointment of Louis Strauss as Secretary of Commerce. It wasn't Strauss, because we saw the movie Oppenheimer. It wasn't Strauss the guy, the character Robert Downey Jr. played, like the ego guy, who thought that...
you may be right.
That he told something about him to Einstein.
Yes. Yes.
No, you self-serving prick. He's talking about the end of the world.
Yeah.
Not everything's about you, Strauss.
We got to see that movie again.
We do.
Too long ago. It was really good. There's so much to see in there.
If it wasn't for how harsh the subject matter is, I would love to see Sound of Freedom again just to see it.
Ooh, yeah.
But that is a very difficult movie. I've at least seen it once, and I saw it in theaters. They made their money.
Yeah.
I supported them.
Oh,
I'm happy for life.
I couldn't sit through it again.
Like
too emotional.
That was a hard movie there.
Yeah.
If
you haven't seen it,
go see it.
It's really good.
If you're a leftist, though, you'll probably get all bad up and shit, because anyway, 1960, first Copa Libertadores final at San Juan. Luis Cabela scored 83 feet equalizer for Penarol of Uruguay for 1-1 draw against Olympia Paraguay. Win 2-1 on aggregate after taking first leg 1-0 in Montevideo. What?
No idea.
That has to be cricket, because none of that makes any sense.
The 1-0, that's not enough score. But I don't
No,
know.
it was a 1-1 draw.
Yeah.
And then they win 2-1 on aggregate, whatever the hell that means. It's just all words and numbers and shit that make no coherent sense in this jumble. I feel like I just got assaulted by a crackhead or something. 1960, Loretta Lynn recorded "I'm a Honky Tonk Girl," and that's this song right here. And it's a bad time to stop at copyright and all that jazz, but yeah, if you guys want to listen to this, as you saw me writing this down, this will be in the underbar of the description below. After the live stream, we already have a lot of cool links down there for you, including my limited to all things Omni Coalition, and our sources and various other cool things and whatnot. Sending that to Loon so he can listen to that if he wants. And moving on up to 1960 as well, Charlotte Motor Speedway held its first NASCAR race, the inaugural World 600. 61, no, actually, I almost didn't mark this one. Little Egypt Yin Yang by the Coasters. Is that what this one is? Yeah. It peaked at number 23.
Step right up, folks, and see Little Egypt do a famous dance of the pyramids. She walks, she talks, she claws
you know
on
this
her belly
one.
like a reptile.
Just
Just one
barely
man
remember.
dime, 1/10 of a singing.
Oh, yeah, there it is. Singing.
Yeah, very 50s, 60s.
Absolutely.
Send it to you as well. What else do we got here? 1961, Kuwait declared independence from the United Kingdom. And 61 as well, New York Yankees outfielder Roger Maris hit his 25th of 61 home runs.
Yeah, he broke Babe Ruth's record.
Nice. What is this? 61 as well. U.S. Supreme Court struck down a provision in Maryland's Constitution requiring state office holders to believe in God.
Huh.
You know, like, I agree with this. At the same time, I don't know, maybe we should bring something back or have some kind of moral standards in writing because...
Moral standards, but you can't make someone believe in God to work for you, especially the government.
Yeah, but, like, they have to believe in something and not be these freaking anarchist psychopaths who... These... What were the bad guys in The Big Lebowski? Like, they were...
Oh, God, I forgot.
not anarchists, but they were, like... They were like they believed in nothing or whatever. Try not to cough directly
Atheists?
into the mic.
Oh, excuse me.
No, they're not atheists. They were something.
I don't remember.
I don't know. Anyway, 63 charter members of Canadian Football Hall of Fame were chosen. Awesome. We also have 2 Russian space missions return to Earth, and we have a connected article. Valentina Tereshnikova, the first woman in space, returned to Earth, obviously aboard one of these 2 missions that we just spoke about. 64, Stadium folk singer Bob Dylan completed his first UK tour. 64 as well, Civil Rights Act of 1964 passed 73-27. So the Civil Rights Act of 1965 was approved after surviving a 83-day filibuster in the United States Senate. Didn't we cover this a while ago?
I don't remember.
Oh, yeah. 64, Luther Burbank Home and Gardens, home of the famous horticulturalist, was designated a National Historical Landmark in Santa Rosa, California. Not that one, not that one. Okay, so I guess I don't have an image of that. But what I'm still trying to think what those people were from that movie. But, like, you know, here's, I think, an image of this house and, you know, the grounds around it and everything.
Gorgeous.
So, yeah, beautiful. What else we got here? 1965, and again, Cao Ki became Prime Minister of South Vietnam at the head of a military junta. General Nguyen Van Thieu became the figurehead Chief of State. 2 years after that, Paul McCartney admitted on TV that he took LSD. What a surprise. In a statement to Independent Television News, ITN, he was the last Beatle to experiment with the drug, but first to speak about it publicly. It is 1967, so let's see here. He was the. They misspelled the. I was wondering what happened here. The. 68, 50,000 participated in Solidarity Day, March of Poor People's Campaign. 69, state troopers ordered to Cairo, Illinois, to quell racial disturbances. Just says ill. Cairo, ill.
Must be Illinois.
Yeah, weird. 1970, British Conservative government of Edward Heath formed with Margaret Thatcher in the cabinet. Awesome. 1970, Jim Bouton's controversial baseball diary, Ball 4, was published. What, did he go to Chernobyl or something? Why do you have 4 balls? That's weird.
Baseball.
I know.
Oh.
Making a mutation joke. But we also have Russian cosmonauts Andrian Nikolaev and Vitaly Sevastnatov returned after nearly 18 days in Soyuz 9, the longest crewed spaceflight at the time, eclipsed by Soyuz 11 in 1971. Wow. That's impressive. 70 as well, the International Patent Cooperation Treaty was signed. 71, the mayor declared state of emergency in Columbus, Georgia due to a racial disturbance. I'm just doing a quick scan to see if there's any comments here. Nope. All right. What else do we got here? 1971, Carole King started a 5-week run at number 1 on the U.S. singles chart with a double-A-sided single, "It's Too Late" and "I Feel the Earth Move." Huh. You ever heard of those songs?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. 72, hundreds of thousands of holidaymakers face flight delays and cancellations after pilots threaten to strike over hijack fears. Yikes. We also have Secretary of State for Northern Ireland, William Whitelaw, conceded special category status for political status for parliamentary prisoners, or paramilitary prisoners in Northern Ireland. More of this trouble stuff, it sounds like. 73, The Rocky Horror Show, stage production, first opened in London, written by Richard O'Brien and directed by Jim Sharman and starring Tim Curry. Tim Curry. Wow.
Tim.
Tim Curry.
Who's Tim Curry?
Like, he's like the guy with a really awesome voice and everything. He played the original Pennywise in It. Like, hold on a second.
Don't worry about it.
No, hold on a second. Like, I can just look this up. Tim Curry. I don't need to play his voice. Looks really, this guy, he looks more familiar like that.
Oh,
That guy.
yeah.
Yeah. 73, Pete Rose of the Cincinnati Reds and Willie Davis of the LA Dodgers both recorded 2000's MLB career hits. Rose a single in a 4-0 win versus San Francisco Giants, with Davis a home run and 3-0 win versus the Atlanta Braves. 74, Yemen Arab Republic in North Yemen suspended their constitution. That does not sound good. 76, U.S. Viking 1 goes into Martian orbit after a 10-month flight from Earth. So they finally got there, and then now they're going into orbit.
Yeah.
77, Pope Paul the Sixth made 19th century Bishop John Newman first U.S. male saint. So 19th cent, is that century?
I guess.
Like 19th cent? Like,
I guess so.
Yeah.
That
70,
seems like to me.
77, Red Sox set 3-game record of 16 home runs, all against the Yankees. Wow. The Yankees sucked that day. 78, Garfield, created by Jim Davis, first appeared as a comic strip in 19... first appeared as a comic strip. Other source says Garfield's first comic strip, originally published locally as John in 1976, went into nationwide syndication. So apparently he was John.
Yeah, Garfield. John Garfield?
No, John's the name of the owner.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm surprised it was that late, 1978. I would have thought it'd been an older.
This is a little small, but like right here, this is
Okay.
before it was Garfield.
John,
It was
yeah.
John, and
Okay.
then that what eventually became Garfield is that really
Yeah.
fat cat.
Yeah.
But there's John, the owner. So, yeah, it's wow. January 8th, 1976. Yeah.
So
what I
2
said.
years later, changed it to Garfield and got himself out of it. Which
Yep.
I don't blame him.
Well, no, John was still in there.
No, but he was. Oh, he is. I don't know.
He's the owner.
I know. Is he
No,
still
of
was-
the cat.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
He's Garfield's master.
Okay. Okay.
Like, no. Like, it wasn't based off of the cartoonist. It was named John. Like,
Yeah, I got it
So-
now. I got it. And he changed it to Garfield.
yeah, but no, it was
the
named. You remember
cat-
him, right?
Yeah.
His name
That's
is John.
Okay.
Yeah. He was the main character, and then they switched it to Garfield.
Okay.
And then later brought in Odie, which is the dog. Oh. 79, in New York City, 36,211 people showed up to witness the return of Billy Martin as manager of the New York Yankees. All right. 79 as well, Mali's constitution went into effect. 1980, battle between police and demonstrators in Cape Town. 34 were killed. Yikes.
Ooh.
81, Boeing commercial Chinook 2 rotor helicopter was certified. So the good old banana helicopter. I could have put this in the thumbnail. Yeah.
You ever heard those things?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, 81, heaviest known orange at 2.5 kilograms was exhibited in Nelspruit, South Africa. Yeah,
Look
that's-
at that thing.
That's the orange. And I'll prove it to you. I'll look up that article. There it is, right there.
Good
The orange.
grief.
Now what is that
Absolutely
in...
wild.
What is that in freedom units? 2.5 kg to pounds. Let's see. 5.5 pounds right here. So
Yeah.
that's pretty heavy.
It's like 2.3 or 2.5, I think.
No idea. 1981, India's Apple satellite, first to be stabilized on 3 axes, was launched. Interesting. And that's, because in space it's naturally 3 axes.
Yeah.
But I guess now, with so much more stuff, you have to have depth. There's no longer just one plane to have satellites. Now you have like near Earth orbit, out Earth orbit, extreme orbit. Like there's so many orbits. 82, the body of God's banker Roberto Calvi was found hanging beneath Blackfriars Bridge in London. Didn't we cover this yesterday?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Someone hanging under a bridge.
Yeah, the same bridge, it sounds like, the Blackfriars. It sounds familiar.
Sounds like
and
it.
this is in London.
Yeah.
And he was also a banker. This is saying
That's
God's
right.
banker, and this guy was from Italy, so was he from the Vatican? Is a Vatican banker being hanged under a bridge in London? What the fuck is happening? 82, the People's Armed Police was de facto founded. It is officially established 10 months later on April 5th in 1983. 84, the first live TV appearance by Chief Justice Warren Burger in Nightline. Okay. Weird Al Yankovic gave a free live performance at the Del Mar Fair. Sounds pretty cool. 85, Reggie Jackson hit his 513th home run to move into 10th place. All-time home run scorers, I believe.
Yeah.
We also had members of the revolutionary part of Central American workers dressed as Salvadorian soldiers attack the Zona Rosa area of San Salvador. 1987, AO's time. Basque separatist group ETA committed one of its most violent attacks in which a bomb was set off in a supermarket in Hipercore, killing 21 and injuring 45. Primary source says 15 dead, but still, that is terrible. 87 as well, Gay Kellaway rode 12-1 shot Sproston boy to win the 2-mile 6-furlong Queen Alexandria Stakes, becoming the first female jockey to ride a winner at England's Royal Ascot Racecourse. Excellent. We also have Supreme Court rules. School teaching evolution need not teach creation. Okay, well, why not teach both? You give the parents a choice, what they want their children to learn. Because now we teach evolution and not creation. It used to be the other way around. Why are we always so extreme? Why are we always so polarizing? Why can't we have multiple things?
Well,
I mean, seriously.
yeah.
Like, why not offer courses in creation and evolution?
You're bordering on, in a public school, you're bordering on creationism as part of religion.
That's only if you take it as a gospel.
I
if you
understand
look
that.
at it
You're
through,
bordering on it, I said.
yes. But if you look at it through theological study and not through belief, then I think it should be there. Because by denying it, you're just limiting what access to information of the wider world a kid has before they have to be an adult and look for it themselves. The more they're exposed to, the more they can figure things out and make up their own mind.
True.
That's only fair. 1987 as well, Glastonbury Festival in Pilton, England open. Elvis Costello and Van Morrison headline. Other performers include New Order, the Robert Cray Band, Los Lobos, Ben E. King, Taj Mahal, Richard Thompson, Courtney Pine, Husker Du, the Wooden Tops, the Mighty Lemon Drops, Michael Schacht, and the World Party. That's a lot of people.
Yeah.
And 87 as well. Aeroflot Flight N58 crashed at Berdyansk Airport in present-day Ukraine, killing 8 people. Moving on up to 1988, 32 divers finished cycling underwater on a standard tricycle to complete 116.66 miles in 75 hours and 20 minutes.
We had this, not yesterday, but a number of days ago.
So it wasn't a stationary bike. They actually were underwater and
That's what it
tricycling.
sounds like, and I don't get it.
But 72 hours, that's over 3 days.
Yeah, I don't
Well, that's
get
almost
it.
3 days.
Yeah.
They have to piss and poo. Well, maybe not piss, but poo. They have to eat. They have to sleep.
Yeah.
They're not doing that all underwater. So, like, what do they do? Mark their location and go back underwater with their tricycles and keep going?
Something like that came out for the night.
Huh. 88, world's then largest sausage was completed at 13 1/8 miles long. We showed this earlier. It's that, like,
Oh yeah.
well, it's not that one.
Remember the longest sausage? though, yeah.
This has to be it right here.
Yeah, that's the
It's
one.
just a very long, thin sausage. Well, that's not a thin sausage. It looks thin, but I mean, if you look at comparison, that's a pretty nice sausage right there. And moving on up from the innuendos, 1988, Pope John Paul II was canonized 117 Vietnamese martyrs. Excellent. 89, Mets Dwight Gooden won his 100th game, 137. Pretty cool. We also have Gary Carter caught his 1,862nd career game breaks. Broke Al Lopez's National League mark. Okay. It was just written in a weird way there. 1990, Gary Carter. We got that one. 1990, Grupo Carso SADCV, founded by Carlos Slim, was listed in the Mexico Stock Exchange. All right. We also have the current international law defending indigenous peoples, Indigenous and Tribal Peoples Convention of 1989, was ratified for the first time by Norway. First time. They had to do it again? It's weird.
I don't know.
We also have the Communist Party of the Russian Soviet Federative Socialist Republic was founded in Moscow. The last, kicking and screaming, remains of the Soviet Union, they're dying. 91, Colombian drug lord Pablo Escobar surrendered to police. Excellent. 91 as well, two of actress actress Mia Farrow's daughters were arrested for shoplifting lingerie.
Oh,
wow.
man.
You have the money, you selfish bitches.
Well, they don't. Their mom does.
Well, they probably do. I don't know.
Like the old saying is, I'm rich, you're not.
Well, we don't know how old they were. They could be 14, they could be 30. It just says two of her daughters.
Yeah.
So, 1991, the last Soviet army units in Hungary were withdrawn. 92, Batman Returns, starring Michael Keaton as Batman, Danny DeVito as a Penguin, and Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman was released. 92 as well, Guardian Angel Curtis Silva was shot twice in New York City. Well, I guess he was a Guardian Angel then. Whoever he was intercepting the bullets for. Or, Guardian Angel, like what does that mean? Is that a position for what? Well, who is he guarding? Or was he
Well, I've always, a guardian angel to me was always an angel on your shoulder. So what does that mean? Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm wondering, is this some position?
No.
Guardian Angel's founder shot. Okay, so he was the founder of something. He was shot by somebody in a stolen taxi. Okay, what's going on? That's weird.
Maybe a guardian angel organization. They help people out.
Yeah.
In whatever way. They're your guardian angel, and we've solved the problem for you.
Yeah.
I'm guessing.
That makes sense. 92, in Canada bloodbath in Baidapang, South Africa. I would like to look that up, but we're already over our hour, so we got to keep going. If anybody wants to look that up, though, let us know in the comments section. That'd be fantastic. Moving up to 94, Tigers tied record of hitting home runs in 25th consecutive games. 99, at about 4:30 p.m., Stephen King was hit by a car on the shoulder of Route 5 in Lovell, Maine. He would suffer numerous injuries, including a collapsed right lung, multiple fractures of his right leg, scalp laceration, and a broken hip. I would feel sorry for him if he wasn't such a leftist psychopath. 2000, NBA Finals, Los Angeles Lakers defeated Indiana Pacers 116-111 in Game 6 to win the franchise's first title in 12 years. MVP, Shaquille the Diesel O'Neal. 2005, Michael Schumacher won controversial United States Formula One Grand Prix where only 6 of 20 cars completed the race, amongst ridicule F1 safety and tire rules. Other source says following a series of Michelin tire failures during the United States Grand Prix weekend at Indianapolis, and without an agreement being reached, 14 cars from 7 teams in Michelin tires withdrew after completing the formation lap, leaving only 6 cars from 3 teams on Bridgestone tires to race.
Oh, so they got out right after the
initial thing.
The traditional lap.
Yeah. 2006, prime ministers of several northern European nations participated in a ceremony laying of the first stone at the Svalbard Global Seed Vault in Spitsbergen, Norway. And we all know about that vault. You'll recognize this vault right here. The seed vault.
I recognize it?
Well, why wouldn't you? This is this is this is the inside and everything. They store I think multiple of every seed of every plant species on the face of the earth here, just in case if there's some disease, some mutagen, some drought, some extinction, something, they have the seeds here to bring that back. So every species of everything in that seed vault. Here's a diagram of it. So there's the entrance right there, and it has these 3 things, and then there's a control room, and they probably have more than what they're letting us know with that diagram there. 2006 as well, Stanley Cup Final, PNC Arena in Raleigh, North Carolina. Carolina Hurricanes defeated Edmonton Oilers 3-1 for a 4-3 series victory. Hurricanes' first championship. Excellent.
Good for them.
2008, Ringo Starr's 10th All-Star Band debuts in concert. Members include Billy Squier, Colin Hay, Edgar Winter, Gary Wright, Hamish Stewart, and Greg Bissonette. Any of those names sound familiar?
Yeah.
Okay, gonna get this off here. I don't give a shit about Ringo Starr. 2009, Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen, directed by Michael Bay and starring Shia LaBeouf and Megan Fox, was released. We also had mass riots involving over 10,000 people and 10,000 police officers broke out in Shishu, China, over the dubious circumstances surrounding the death of a local chief or chef. Chef. Wow, that's weird. 2012, a man was beheaded for witchcraft and sorcery in Saudi Arabia. Yikes. We also have WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange requested asylum in London's Ecuadorian embassy. Ecuadorian, not Ecuadorian. No. For fear of extradition to the U.S. after publication of previously classified documents, including footage of civilian killings by the U.S. Army. He will remain there until 2019, after the U.S. did some bullshit involving Ecuador, and then we got them to release him to us, and now he's probably being tortured, if not already killed. 2013, 48 people are killed by armed bandits in Zamfara State, Nigeria. Jerry Sloan returned to the Utah Jazz as an advisor and scouting consultant. 2014, Transformers: Age of Extinction, directed by Michael Bay and starring Mark Wahlberg, premiered in Hong Kong. Highest grossing film of 2014 at $1,104 million. 2017, Brexit, not Brexit, Brexit, okay. Negotiations began between the United Kingdom and the European Union in Brussels.
That's got to be Brexit.
It has to be,
yeah.
but you know, you'd think this being a British source, he would at least put Brexit
spell
right.
thing right, yeah.
You know, I'm starting to really question the literacy of the people behind this webpage here. 2017, first full genetic study of cats published by Nature, Ecology, and Evolution revealed domesticated 9,000 years ago descended from one species, the African wildcat. Wow, so all current house cats are descended from one species. I mean, that would make sense. You know, eventually, like, like different peoples take them to different places, and they start, acclimating to those different locations, the weather, the humidity, lack thereof, whatever, 2017, a record 65.6 million people were displaced around the world, and in 2016, reported by UN Refugee Agency. They can also be making that number up. Russia warned the U.S. it will target the U.S. and allied aircraft over Syria after U.S. fighters shot down Syrian warplane. Canada's Senate in 2018 voted to legalize recreational marijuana use, first major economy to do so. Well, tax it, We also have English smash the highest score, 481/6, in one-day international cricket history in a 242-run defeat of Australia, 239, at the Trent Bridge. Whatever the hell that means. General Electric dropped from the Dow Jones Industrial Average, the last original member from 1907. Wow. So now, no OGs. 2018, U.S. Ambassador Nikki Haley announced the U.S. is leaving the United Nations Human Rights Council. We spoke about that a while ago, how we're no longer on that.
Yeah.
That's weird. The 10 millionth United States patent was issued. I wonder what it was, So.
Yeah, I should have told her. Maybe it wouldn't have made any sense. Who knows?
Well, I'm just going to...
It's all technical stuff.
Look this up. Oh, here we go. United States patent number 10 million. Patent highlights 228-year history and strength of American intellectual property system. Okay. Oh, this is just telling me about all this. Okay, well, if anybody wants to know, 10,000 millionth U.S. patents, then I'm going to put this here. Let us know what it was in the comment section, please. Thank you. 2018, 2018, Antoine Rose II was fatally shot in East Pittsburgh by East Pittsburgh police officer Michael Rosefield after being involved in a near-fatal drive-by shooting. What the hell's going on there? So, like, they almost got shot and then they did? Or did somebody else almost get shot?
I don't know.
Like,
It reads weird.
yeah, I know. It's weird.
Sounds like
So much happened.
They got shot at and then got shot and then got killed.
Yeah. It's weird. 2019, first debate for a decade in Congress over reparations for slavery with Danny Glover, one of the witnesses. Fuck that. It's done. Enough. I am so tired of a certain community constantly crying and whining about shit that happened hundreds of years ago. Yeah, it sucked. Get over it. A lot of whitey died in the Civil War to get you your rights there, bucko, so shut the fuck up. Enough. Anyway, 2019, UN said over 70 million people in the world were displaced, asylum seekers or refugees around the world, their highest ever number in 70 years. I don't know about that. Oklahoma writer Joy Harjo was named the first Native American U.S. Poet Laureate by the Library of Congress. That's pretty cool. U.S. NXIVM cult leader Keith Rainier was found guilty in New York court for racketeering, sex trafficking, and fraud.
Whoops.
I've never heard of that organization, but, good. We also have U.S. senators received a classified briefing on possible UFO sightings by the U.S. Navy. Here we go. The start of all this crap. 2020, Australian government and companies suffer a months-long state-based cyber attack, according to Prime Minister Scott Morrison. 2020 as well, Jason Mraz announced he will donate all profits from his album Look for the Good to Black Lives Matter and other organizations. How foolish. I hope he didn't. I mean, like, I support his gesture, but I really hope he didn't, because not a penny of that went to actual black people suffering. 2020, animal rights activist advocate Reagan Russell was run over and killed by a transport truck outside of a pig slaughterhouse in Burlington, Ontario. It sounds like he jumped in front of the truck himself. Like a lot of these animal rights people, like the people who glue themselves, to the ground and all that stuff. They cement their hands, all that stuff. This is probably what happened. He probably threw himself in front of a moving truck and got himself killed, in a very akin way to that crazy lady we spoke about days ago who threw herself in front of a racehorse owned by the king, because she was a suffragette and she's trying to martyr herself for the cause of whatever. Dude, like, I like your enthusiasm, but stop. There's no point in killing yourself. It's ridiculous. Because all you're doing is making yourself look stupid. Because at the end of the day, this whole thing, is dumb.
Of course, what you don't know, especially like on the horse, was that her intention to kill herself, or was it intention to have the king stop and the horse raise up, or whatever? You don't know.
Well, no, the king wasn't riding the horse.
Huh?
The king wasn't riding the horse.
Oh, he wasn't?
No, it was a horse race. And the king owned the horse.
Oh, okay.
But somebody else was riding it.
Okay.
But it was his
right.
own
I don't
horse.
remember the whole thing, yeah.
Anyway, 2022, French President Emmanuel Macron's centrist coalition lost its ruling majority, thank God, in the National Assembly after gains by the right and the left in legislative elections. Macron needs to go. 2022 as well, Colombian elects its first leftist president, former member of the M19 guerrilla movement, Gustavo Petro. Why? Colombia, why? That's dumb. Unless he stole the election. So. 2022, U.S. Center for Disease Control, the CDC, recommended kung flu vaccines for kids aged 6 months to 5 years.
God,
they just want to kill us all.
And there's absolutely no need for it.
They just want us all to die.
The kids had no reaction to that of any consequence.
2023, Chinese Premier Xi Jinping, also known as Winnie the Pooh, met with U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken in the Great Hall of the People in Beijing. We also have a heat wave with temperatures between 42 and 47 Celsius in Indian province of Uttar Pradesh, with a controversy erupting after officials suggest dozens have died because of it. Now, what is that in freedom units? How many hamburgers to hot dogs on a football field? So what's 42 degrees Celsius to begin with? 42 C to F. Let's see. 107 Fahrenheit.
Whoa.
So we have 107 is the smaller temperature.
So it's like up to 120 or something.
116.
Yeah.
That's hot.
Yeah.
Oh, yikes. What else do we got here? In 2023, historians study commissioned by Dutch Parliament found rulers William III, William IV, and William V made more than 535 million euros. That's weird. Euros in profit from Dutch colonies. I guess they're converting it, because euros didn't exist back then, including through slavery in Africa and Asia. Yikes. How did they figure that, though? I mean, like, how bored do you have to be to work on all that? Like, what benefits?
Why did you say euros didn't exist in 23?
No, William III, William IV, and William V made more than 45 million euros in profit. Euros didn't exist as an economy while they were kings and queens thousands of years ago.
Yeah, you're right.
You know? So, but seriously, what impact on the world does this study have? I mean, that's cool,
None.
But, don't we have better things to do to spend our time on? No.
Maybe they want to get the money back or something.
No, they're trying to be like, look at slavery. All the white hands run red with the blood of blacks. Well, shut up. 2023, search and rescue mission began for the Titan submarine on expedition to explore the wreck of the Titanic in the North Atlantic. We covered yesterday when they imploded.
Yeah.
UN adopted first ever legally binding international treaty to govern the high seas. Biodiversity beyond national jurisdiction treaty. Okay. 2024, just 2 years ago, a law requiring classrooms display the 10 Commandments signed into law by Louisiana Governor Jeff Landry, first state to do so. Here we go again. You know what I was talking about earlier. Now we have teaching at church in a state school. You know, but then again, if you're studying, you know, like theology should be a public thing to study. You know, they should offer courses in studying Christianity, Judaism, Hindu, Islam. You know, not as a religious teaching, but as studying the religion itself to figure out those people, that culture, what they thought, how life was like in those worlds at the time, to learn more about our history. Not to convert them to any belief.
You get that on college level. You can go to those schools. They have lots of those.
Yeah, absolutely true. You know. 2024, at least 550 people are reported to have died on Hajj pilgrimage to Mecca, Saudi Arabia, as temperatures topped 51.8 degrees Celsius.
Well, we know that's
125.2 Fahrenheit. Holy shit.
We just looked that up, and it was 116 for 52 or something, wasn't it?
No, that was 47.
Oh, excuse me.
And this is 51.8.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. We also have Russia's Vladimir Putin and North Korea's Kim Jong-un signed a pact to, quote, provide mutual assistance in case of aggression, end quote, and Pyongyang bringing the countries to the closest since the Cold War. And last but not least, the world's oldest vine, a white, revealed inside a 1st century CE, so a common era, that's AD, a Roman funeral urn mixed with a man's ashes in a mausoleum in Carmona, Spain. So the wine was mixed with the ashes. I hope they didn't drink it. That'd be gross.
I don't think so.
Well, I don't know. I mean, like, considering how, and I think I told you this, but recently, a frozen mummified corpse of like a several thousand-year-old human was found or something, and they discovered in his gut a yeast bacteria, like, you know, in his, like, you know, stomach, intestines, you know, wherever it was, and they used that yeast to bake sourdough bread, and they ate it. Like, what the hell? That's crazy. So, anyway, that shall conclude the show. Once again, please check the underbar of the description for any links that you may find interesting, including but not limited to all things Omni Coalition. A lot of history has and continues to be made on a daily basis, and we can only bring you a portion between two sources. We've gotten through all 36 of these pages throughout today's hour and a quarter, so, you know, 5/4 of an hour there. For your dose of Pacifist Daily, we stream at 5 p.m. Pacific Time, 6 Mountain, 7 Central, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, respectively. If you're still watching this, what's the code word to put in the comments?
Apples.
Apples. Put apples in the comments. Let us know that you're still, you know, watching us. For all of you and all of us, I'm Xander.
Golden Loon.
And you, VRU. Thank you so much for coming in and watching. And until you catch us next time, whenever it is, wherever that is, don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate 5 thumbs, and subscribe. Doing a quick scan one last time for comments. Nothing on YouTube, nothing on Rumble. And I am now signing.